Hello there, welcome to another episode of Tutorials by KASANGA. My name is KASANGA, and today I want us to do a filler for currency exchange. This can be used as part of the news, just before you have the news endboard. So you can also use it just as a normal filler or just part of the news. So without further ado, today we're going to be using two softwares, and over the years I've learned how to simplify things. Today I'm going to be using Photoshop and Adobe After Effects. And before we even start, I really like to take this moment to thank you for the support so far. If you haven't, just click on the subscribe, comment, share, like, and I believe we're going to grow this content together. And if you want anything to be covered, please comment on the comment section or just message me, and I'm going to put it into consideration in the next tutorials that you're going to be doing. Now, the main reason I'm using Photoshop and After Effects is just to make the work simpler. You can use After Effects only, but it's going to take you more time and effort. But if you use Photoshop, you're going to do the artwork on Photoshop and then just import it as an image. Once you've done it as an image, you just now going to be changing the numbers of After Effects and also just the animation so that it looks a little bit have some subtle motion. And so that we start, let me just delete that. I already created my workspace, and my workspace is 1920 by 1080. That is the standard that I use for all productions that I do. So I'm just going to start with a rectangle tool, something that big, and then I'm just going to duplicate the rectangle. I'm going to duplicate it, and the duplicated part, I'm going to give it a black color. Okay, now I think I can remove this bottom part. Yes, I can. So the top black part, I'm going out just to reduce it, because I want at the top just to have the initials for the currency. At the middle we have the flag, and at the bottom we have the exchange rate. So that's what I'm looking at. Once it's aligned, I can just so what I'm going to do, let me just right here put the initials. Let me just do the USD for United States dollar. Just make it big, good, it's center aligned, and then I'm just going to drag it up to the place that I want it to be at. Then what I'm going to do, all this I'm just going to put them in a folder, Control T. And then I'm going to make them smaller. You can one thing that always remind people, it might look big, but imagine you're going to be watching it on an even bigger screen. So making it a bit smaller really helps. It is usually easy on the eyes, so don't worry if you feel it is small. When you put it on a big screen, it actually becomes quite big. So I'm also going to duplicate them again. Sorry, pressed the wrong button. So I select everything. Good. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do now is to change all these icons. The reason why we do this is that a lot of countries do businesses with countries that are around them, and I am Kenyan. From where I come from, we do a lot of business with our neighbors. We have Tanzania and Uganda. Both of them have their currencies, but the countries to the north, they prefer to use the American dollar, so that's why we have the USD. We also do a lot of business with Britain, South Africa, and China. So those are the currencies that we are going to be having. So already we have the USD. Now we're going to have the Chinese one. Then we're going to have the Great Britain pound. We're going to have the South African rand. And right here we're going to be having the Tanzanian shilling, is TSH. KSH. This is because the Kenyan shilling has a high value than them. So I'm going to reduce that a bit. I think I went so much. That will work. And also for Uganda, the Ugandan shilling is below the Kenyan shilling, or rather one Kenyan shilling equals several Ugandan shillings. That's why we put it this way. Having done that, what I'm going now to do, I'm going now to import the flags. So this is a Tanzanian flag. Just place it here. Over the years I've learned if you can start working at it earlier, the better. So that's why I started earlier with the Tanzanian flag. So this is the Great Britain flag. This is a China flag. This is the Ugandan flag. That is the Ugandan flag. This is a South African flag. It is a rainbow nation. And that is the American flag. So the other thing I'm going out to do is just put each flag in the folder for the country. Once I've done that, I just take the flag, put it on the black placeholder, right click, create clipping mask, and the flag assumes the rightful position. So Uganda is done. Which country is this? Good. This is Tanzania, United Republic of Tanzania. So same procedure, flag over the placement holder, the placeholder. So that's South African rand. Same procedure, create clipping mask, fits very well, just so that I don't see the black outline. This is the Great Britain pound. Same procedure, flag over placement area. Just it a bit. This is the China flag. Same procedure. I think once you do this for some time, you start becoming smoother. So the last one obviously should be the United States one. And that is it. So the first part is over. And one of the things that I like to do, so that it just gives me a sense of separation, I just like to cast a shadow. So I'm going to envelope everything in one, and then after I've enveloped everything in one, just drop a shadow. That one works for me. And that is the end of the first part. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to export this as a PNG and then import it to the subsequent software, After Effects. But I can also do it in Premiere Pro, so that right here you can be able to add in your figures and all the other elements that you might need to. So I'm going to come to File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. So now I have an After Effects project. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a new composition, and composition, I'm going to call it Foreign Exchange Rate AE project. 30 seconds, 1920 by 1080, 30 FPS. Yeah, 30 FPS, 29.97, that's 30 FPS. So I'm going to input that picture and I'm going to place it there. I'm also going to input another picture that I want to use as a background. You can make it as complex as you want to, but I just want to make it very simple so that at the end of the day you can use it even at a personal level. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this image, drop it down. It's a bit small, so I'm going to hit the scale button so that I make it bigger. I'm also going to hit the position button so that I can create a keyframe. I'm going to move the cursor to the very end so that now I can create another keyframe. I'm going to move, yes, so that I can create another keyframe. Also, what also I'm going to do, I'm going to do another white layer on top. Just place it before the background. I'm going to hit letter T to access the opacity function, because I don't want the background to compete with the foreground. So I'm going to give it a 75% opacity so that the background is removed from the foreground. I'm going to lock it because I don't see myself doing anything to it again. Come to the icons. I'm going to reduce the size and then I'm going to lock it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce values for these places. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this tool, the type tool, and then let me just zoom in a little bit. Yes, so type tool. On the type tool, I'm going to do 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3.2 zeros, and I'm going to choose the font that I like. I like Calibri because it's easier on the eyes. Calibri bold. So I'm going to use Calibri bold. Adjust the font size, make sure it's center aligned, because there are those currencies that are going to have 5 digits. I want to be prepared for all of them. Is that okay? No, I think it's still big. So I'm going to do 60. I think that one is very well positioned. So I'm going to duplicate it so that you can have the remainder 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hit position. So all this I'm going to hit the position. I think I went ahead of myself somewhere, but not to worry. Not to worry. So every time I move, I leave one behind. I think I took too many. I shouldn't have, but nonetheless, the project will still work. Don't worry about the pixelation. I'm not previewing at 100%. If I was to preview at 100%, it wouldn't pixelate. So I duplicate again, position. Then I get it to that point. Once I have done that, let me just drop all of those. Now I need to go and get these figures from somewhere, and lucky enough, I have the Central Bank of Kenya website, and from them going out just to lift the values. So I'm going to start with the US dollar. I'm going to double click there and paste. And just go back again. It's going to be a little bit tasky because I need to identify all these where they are. So this is the Kenya shilling to the Ugandan shilling. Come to the Kenya Ugandan shilling part. Kenya shilling to the Tanzanian shilling. I copy that part. I paste it there. We got the Chinese one. Copy that. Come to the Chinese one part. South African rand. And lastly, the Great Britain pound, which is also called the sterling pound. And now we have all those figures. All those figures very well. Now this is the preview render. It's on auto. It just shifts from one to another. So I want to credit this so that it's credible. So I'm going to copy the source. Another thing that you need is also the date, because this is subject to date. So today is the 6th of December. 06 of December 2025. Double space. Central Bank of Kenya. I think I went too much space. So double space, so Central Bank of Kenya. I don't want this to be that shouting, just want it to be a little bit subtle, so I'm going to give it that, and I'm going to place it somewhere over there. The other thing that I'm also going to do at the top right here, I'm going to have foreign exchange rates. So I'm going to copy that. Text function. But I want it to be a little bit bold and shouting. Don't shout too much because I don't want the screen to be filled with a lot of content. I think that one is going to work. So the last thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to try to kind of sort of animate it. So I'm going to zoom out a bit. I'm going to create another shape on top. The shape, I want to bring it behind the foreign exchange rate text, and then I want to access the transform part. So for this, I'm going to just use the scale and position for both of them. So I just place the frames, and now I just need now to play. With the position. Good. So that is a good place for it to be. So I think the text can actually play. Come to the center. Actually be a little bit bigger. That one can work. So right here, I'm just going to do that, and just slightly at the front, I'm going to copy these ones and paste them to the end. And there you have it. It starts. This is how it's going to play out at the beginning. The text fills the screen. When you get to the keyframe, it pulls up, and then it's just it reveals the data behind. So I'm going to render this, and after I've rendered it, I'm going also to attach it at the end of this video. And also remember, this project is going to also to be available on the bio, so that you can take it, play with it, and just come up with something fun and beautiful. Please support me, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe, and share with your friends. Goodbye.